Hi, this is. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a quick, not so quick, video response to Patriot in the Dark's blind challenge. He's reached out and issued a challenge to others within the Second Amendment community and on YouTube to do a firearm breakdown, disassembly, whether it be shotguns, rifles, pistols. So I thought it'd be interesting as a new YouTuber trying to figure out how to do the filming for one, editing, and then also do this as a blind. It was very eye-opening, pun intended. But check out the video. Let me know what you think. It was definitely a challenge, inspiration, just knowing that he's out there doing this stuff as a blind individual. Thanks a lot. Let's get to the video. Okay, so here comes the blindfold, and this should be very interesting. I am not blind. I will try to show under the camera. Hopefully that works. Okay, so the M&P9, it's a striker fired Smith & Wesson full-size handgun. It has a 17 round magazine. So first things first, I guess we'll drop the magazine, we'll check for safe. Magazine is empty. We can check the follower. I guess first things first. On the grip, as you're holding the grip, where your thumb is placed, there's a magazine release. It's a button between your hand grip and the trigger, and if you press that button down, it will release the magazine. So we press the button, release the magazine. Once we have the magazine in our hand, we can check the follower with our finger, make sure there's no rounds in there. Next, above your, along your slide, you're going to have a couple levers and buttons, and the first one, if you work from your rear of the gun, the rear of the slide, moving forward along the base of the slide in the frame, there's a lever here. You can press it up. That is your slide catch. So if we push the slide back and push the slide catch up, it will hold that slide to the rear. Now we can, since we can't visually check, we can manually check with our finger, checking inside of the slide. At the very top of the slide, there'd be the ejection port. You can stick your finger in here and verify inside the barrel that there is no round inside that chamber to verify the gun is safe. Next, we will release the slide, and we'll go through the gun from back to front. At the rear of the gun, we have sights. These are steel windage adjustable sights. Actually, I don't think they are windage adjustable, but they are 3-dot sights. It's a steel sight with 2 dots on either side, and when you place the front sight, which we'll get to, the dot in the center goes between the 2 rear sight dots. Moving forward, we touched on the slide catch. This is what holds the slide to the rear. Next, we have the takedown lever. This lever is, as you touch it, it's going to rotate in a clockwise fashion when we disassemble the gun. Moving forward, we have a front sight. I hope this is still in view of everybody. The front sight, like I mentioned, it's a steel front sight with a single white dot in the middle for lining up with the rear sights. On the bottom, we have a Picatinny rail. It is a 3-position Picatinny rail that sits right in front of the trigger guard underneath the front of the barrel. Next, we have the trigger guard, which is a rounded trigger guard. Inside, we have a Smith & Wesson trigger which is a hinge trigger, a little bit different than what you'd find on a Glock, but this is a hinge at the middle of the trigger, which is the safety. If you move the bottom of the trigger, it actually moves. There's a little catch there that prevents the gun from firing until that lower hinge is depressed. Next we've got the handle, or the stippling on the grip. M&Ps come with 3 different back straps, but the front strap and the back strap are both mildly stippled. They're not really very rough, but they are enough to get a good grasp on the gun. There's a slight flare at the front of the front strap for the magazine. The back straps can be swapped out. There's a pin. If you go to the very bottom in the back of the grip, there is a extended piece of plastic that sticks out. If you can rotate that a quarter turn, then you'll be able to slide that pin out, and this will let you remove the grip, or the back strap. This is a medium back strap here. They also make a small and a larger back strap for larger hands. When you slide it off, it comes straight off the back of the hand grip. To put it back on, or put any of them back on, you first slide the top of the grip up towards the slide. It slides in, and then you slowly push in the grip towards the front of the grip. Next, you'll grab your pin, and the rounded part of the pin goes towards the back of the gun, so that when you want to do that quarter, you're going to slide it back in the hole at the very base of the rear of the grip. Again, it'll be a quarter turn. If you remember to put the rounded piece of the pin facing the floor, and you can slide that back in all the way, push it in tight, rotate it a quarter turn again so that it's the same shape as the rear of the grip. Then you're back in, and that locks in your back strap. Okay, for takedown of the gun, we're going to hold the slide with the barrel pointing to our left. I am right-handed, so that I will be using my right hand to lock the slide to the rear. By reaching over the top and grasping the slide and holding your right hand in the grip, you're going to go opposite direction. So you're going to push to the left with your hand on the grip, push to the right with your hand on the slide, and go opposite directions, and you push. Use your thumb on the slide lock lever that we used before, and push that up against the slide while it's moved to the rear, and let the slide release. That'll hold the slide to the rear. Next, the slide takedown lever, which is moving down to the front of the gun from your slide lock. We have the takedown lever. It's got it's kind of flat, but it's got some grooves on it that allow you to get a good grip as you rotate it. What you'll do is you'll rotate. Now the slide is to the rear. You're going to rotate this lever in a clockwise fashion, basically pushing it down towards the trigger group. You're going to slide that down, rotate it around. Once it's facing down towards the trigger, you'll be able to release your slide. The way you do that is, first, like we did before, we're going to do opposites. We're going to push the slide to the right and push the hand grip to the left, holding that slide back. That slide release will actually drop. If not, you can pull it down with your thumb and let the slide go. Now it's still going to sit on the gun. It's not going to come off freely. This is where there's 2 ways of doing it, but the way that works easiest and the quickest is to pull the trigger. Once the trigger is pulled, the slide will slide off. Now we can set the frame down. Now we have the slide in our hand. And going back over the slide a little bit, they do have some fish scale slide serrations here at the rear that I kind of missed. But feeling over the slide, it does have really good slide serrations to grab and pull that slide to the rear. Inside, we're going to have your barrel and your spring. To disassemble this and pull the barrel out for cleaning and disassembly, we're going to remove, so the spring is at the very top at the front of the barrel. So what we want to do is find from the front of the barrel, work our way back along the spring and guide rod that is there. Once we reach the back of the guide rod in the spring, we're just going to grasp with our fingers and pull it straight up, keeping a hold of it in our hands because it's going to have a little backward pressure as it comes from the front of the slide. And we're going to remove that from the front of the slide. Now we can set that down. Next we have the barrel. So the barrel sits right below that spring and guide rod that we had in there. We're just going to lift up. You'll feel right where the guide rod was pinned to the back that we lifted up from, there's going to be a barrel that's actually pushing against the a lip of the barrel. We're going to pull that barrel up just slightly, and then we'll slide it towards the rear of the slide. And then we have our barrel that's come out. Now we have our barrel, our spring and guide rod, and our frame all separated. To reassemble, we want to find the front of the barrel, and if we're holding our slide in our hand, again with the barrel, the front of the slide facing our left, we're going to take the barrel, and on the barrel there's a flat side, or 3 flat sides, but there's also a side that has, feels like almost 2 teeth that are sticking up. That's going to face upward. So as we slide, we'll lay our barrel down inside the slide, facing the left, and as we slide it forward, we'll get it back in through the hole in the front of the slide for your barrel. And as it moves forward, we can drop it back in and slide it to the rear till you can hear it click right back into place. All right, next we're going to have the guide rod and the spring. Now on this, there's 2 ends. There's one where the spring you can feel on the outside of your the tip of your guide rod. The other end is very flat. It's just like a steel flat that the spring is totally covered by the flat piece. The other end has, it feels like a little pin or a little nub sticking out from the end of the spring. That's going to go to the front of the slide. So if we pick at the slide and face the barrel, we're facing the slide, the top of the slide is facing the floor. We're going to use the front of the slide to the left again, and right above the barrel we just put in, at the front of the slide you'll feel a little bulge where the end of the guide rod will fit right in there. So we want to put our guide rod in that hole. Now with our barrel in there, we're going to slide, just lightly push the guide rod and the spring forward towards the barrel, and we're going to tuck it in right back behind the barrel catch, or the little catch on the back of the barrel, and we're going to tuck it right back down inside of there, and there we go. Now it's back together. Next we'll turn the frame, or the slide over, excuse me, so it is facing towards the floor. We will pick up our frame, and we're going to take our frame and the slide. We'll keep our slide in our left hand, our frame in our right hand, and we know that the slide's going to slide over the top of the frame. So we're going to try to line up from the back of the slide over the front of the frame, and slowly, just like we're racking a slide, go right with your slide hand, left with your frame hand, and we're going to slide them together. You should feel them lock onto the slides of the frame. Once you get it back, push it all the way back, like you're going to rack the slide or you're going to disassemble it. Push it all the way back. Put your slide lock back up. So with your thumb, push that slide lock back up in the up position. That'll hold your slide back. Once you do that, in my case it feels like the slide release or takedown lever is rotated back up. But what you would do is rotate your takedown lever back counterclockwise 45 degrees, or excuse me, 90 degrees, back up, and that would lock your slide back into place. And now we would do it once again. Push your slide back to the rear, holding the frame like you're going to charge the gun. Your slide catch will release. Let the slide ride forward. Now you're back in position. You can pull the trigger. And now your gun is fully assembled again. We can take our magazine and we can insert our magazine back in. And now we have the M&P9 reassembled. Hope this worked. Hope everything filmed correctly so I don't have to redo everything again. But I really appreciate the Blind Patriot. It makes me feel I'm new to YouTube, and I think this is a great opportunity for me to try new things. But it's also very inspiring watching somebody that's 100% blind do these things. I really feel the challenge here doing it myself. Thank you for the opportunity. Please check him out. I'll have his information below in the comments. And please, if you liked my channel, please like and subscribe mine too. I'd like to do more of these. Thanks a lot.